back, everyone, to Collie Bliss Beauty. It's coming to the end of August, so we're going to touch base with a new special guest by the name of Tilda Lowsley-Williams. Tilda
Yeah.
is a massage therapist and facialist. Two specialities right there. With 8 years of experience in Ayurvedic massage and health and well-being, Tilda has most recently worked alongside Dimple Armani at Selfridges and Liberty, and previously at Javita Ayurveda in Northwest London, where she learnt and honed her skills over the years. Tilda is
Yeah.
passionate about helping people achieve optimal well-being in their lives. Tilda, welcome, Tilda.
Hi everyone. Hi Nicole. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's a pleasure to be here today. So yeah, as you said, I'm Tilda Lowsley-Williams and I'm going to be talking to you a bit about Ayurveda. I've kind of been in that world for about 7, 8 years, and I initially got into massage in 2017 when I was studying at drama school. So we did a lot of like dance and physical theatre, and I think when you're doing that kind of work, you're very in your body. So my mind was very much kind of thinking about how everything worked, and obviously, you do kind of wonder if getting massages is a good thing for you just to keep yourself in balance. And especially when you're like kind of physically and emotionally being challenged every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's good to be able to hit that reset button through different modalities like massage or saying going for a run or whatever your vice is. But yeah, that kind of sparked my interest. And so I thought, great, I'll do this as like a side thing, a side hustle. And went to massage school for, it was like a 3 month intensive course, which I know is not that long, but it is quite intense, as it said. And you do the anatomy and physiology, you do a lot of case studies. They make sure you do quite a lot of case studies, actually. And then I was actually very lucky because there was this beautiful Ayurvedic spa at the end of my road where I lived in Kensal Rise. So I started working as a receptionist there, and they did all these amazing treatments. I never heard of Ayurveda because I mean, everyone talked about sort of Chinese medicine and Thai massage, but no one really had mentioned a lot about Ayurveda. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Maybe like gap in the market for like other places, but it was on my doorstep, and the woman there is absolutely incredible, and she's still a really good friend to this day. And so I took a massage intensive course with her and worked there pretty much on and off for about 5 years.
Oh, hi.
So she was like my mentor, my guru, and obviously I had that constant flow of clients all day, every day, which I think as a person starting off, getting private clients can be quite challenging. And you really just need to be working within a clinic to get that constant experience, and also just having someone kind of help spruce up your skills and things as you go along. But then, yeah, I slowly integrated things like facials and pregnancy massage, and then lymphatic drainage, myofascial release. And I'm currently studying a diet and lifestyle consulting course as well, just to kind of broaden my spectrum of knowledge and be able to offer more kind of talking therapy rather than constantly being physical, because that can be quite taxing on the body.
Wow,
But
lots shared there, Tilda. So you started in 2017 in terms of your massage journey. That's when it began. And one thing that really stood out to me there was because you wanted to connect more with your body after going through, a day of acting, and you wanted
mm,
to find a way to reconnect with yourself.
yeah,
And that's what
yeah.
I know Ayurveda is known for. It's known with connecting your mind, body, and
So yeah,
soul, basically. Yeah. So there's a spiritual essence
yeah, exactly,
to the
exactly.
practice, but also there are
The
um
practical side.
cool things that you can do as well, right?
Yeah.
So let's start off with this. What is Ayurveda? Because there might be people listening in that have never heard of it. Obviously, it's not in the college beauty therapy syllabus either. So it's
Yeah.
something that you'd have to pay for outside or beyond, your
Exactly.
professional job.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
what would you say it is? Let's
So
define.
Ayurveda literally translates as life knowledge or the science of life. So Aya means life and Veda is kind of the science of life. So the Vedas were the ancient wise men. It's a 5,000-year-old practice rooted in India. They have a lot of kind of Ayurvedic hospitals, in fact, in sort of southern India and Sri Lanka. And it's kind of bit more about looking at the root cause rather than treating the symptoms. So it's all about prevention medicine. It's about looking at your diet and lifestyle and really like what kind of triggers are causing inflammation to spread and then end up as, I don't know, diabetes or weight gain or fatigue, sluggishness, bad skin, brittle hair, brittle nails. It's lots of things that you can look at. And within Ayurveda, you have yoga, you have massage, you have the diet and lifestyle. And I think for me, that was the big pull because, when you do Swedish massage, that's kind of it. And then, but with Ayurveda, there's so much to learn and there's such a wealth of knowledge, and it's so deeply rooted in their history that yeah, you could just keep going for your whole life, really. Like, I don't think there's ever a dull moment with it, and like especially when looking at different people, you can really take a deep dive. Where I feel like massage is often a little bit more surface level. Um, because you're not really looking at that person's unique constitution and qualities, their health, their diet, their lifestyle. It's just kind of like helping relieve aching muscles and tension in their body at that time.
Yes, or we are confirming how they want to feel by the end of it. So whether that's uplifted, and obviously you'd match a scent, aromatherapy scent to help that. Whereas, like you said, Ayurveda goes 10 steps further than that. You mentioned a
Yeah.
couple of ways that people can start practicing. So yoga is part of it. Did you mention
Yeah,
meditation? Because I'm sure that's
meditation's definitely, yeah, no,
yeah.
of course, meditation's a big one. Regular yoga practice. So there's a thing called sun salutations, which you can do in the morning. There's a particular kind of hour of the day between like 4 and 5 a.m. In fact, before the sun rises. That's like the kind of golden hour, so to speak, where things kind of very special and you can do your practice then. And then, I mean, no one's really getting up at 4 in the morning, but it's more about like doing your practice at the sacred hour in the morning as you rise with the sun. And then that kind of sets you for the rest of the day and you gain kind of mental clarity. And then having the massages obviously is great if you're feeling kind of physically very like burnt out and stressed. Um, and they do all really tie into each other. Honestly, they're all very kind of intrinsically connected. It is a very kind of mind, body, soul thing. And if you saw a Venn diagram of it, I think you would have the body and mind and then soul in the middle. Yeah, I think for me, that's why I've kept on track with this because I've known there's always so much more to be learned. And with the diet, it's kind of there's some simple rules that you can apply because you're asking what are things you can apply in your day to day.
Yeah, especially for beauty therapists. Remember, we
Mm.
do work long shifts, sometimes
Yeah,
8 hour shifts with an hour break. So in that hour break, what small habits could they be implementing to get a boost of energy or focus or just grounding? Like what could they do in that break?
sure. So always a rule of thumb is to have a light breakfast, heavy lunch, and light dinner, trying not to eat after 5 if possible. But if that's not possible, then like your late brunch is fine, and then like a early dinner. And in that break, I would suggest if you're having like a big lunch, then you go make sure the lunch isn't too long, but then you go for like a nice brisk walk, and then you're able to kind of rest on your left side for proper digestion for a bit, just to really relax. And also how you eat. I've noticed when I was at Liberty's, for example, in the canteen, that all of the staff, whilst they were eating, would be watching something on their mobiles. And I just found it really weird. Like, I think I maybe did do that when I was younger, but because I've been doing what I've been doing for so long and I've always been taught about mindful eating, it's really bad for your digestion to be like watching screens because it completely takes you away from being in the moment and it detaches you from the appreciation of your food and proper digestion.
I love
So,
that. I love hearing that. It's good to be mindful of what we're eating, right? Tasting the food, having the full
yeah.
senses, and enjoying it. But when you are watching something, it can distract you,
Yeah,
especially if you're
and
talking
look,
on the phone. You see a lot of people talking on the phone sometimes.
yeah, and look, like we're all guilty of it. I do it for sure, but I think, it's good to also remind yourself to try and actually be in the moment with your meal because it is a kind of like special ritualistic moment in essence. And I think, if you do need to go and look at your phone, then like fine, wait until after. But even at home, like you wouldn't sit at the table with your family and friends and be like texting on your phone. Or maybe you would. There's those couples that are on board dates in restaurants that do. But I mean, I think it's quite rude and it sort of takes away from the meal and each other. Um, but that's my maybe that's just a personal thing, but
Mindfulness is part of the practice, right?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
breathing. If can we share some more about breathing? Are there exercises they can do on their break to connect with their breath? Maybe slow down their breath.
Yeah.
They
So
feel speeded up because they've done treatments back to back. And
yeah, I mean, as I said, like just taking a moment to sit with your thoughts after lunch and or just even on your break or a mini break and just coming back to your breath and your body and focusing on the rise and fall of your belly, doing deep inhales through the nose and out through the mouth are really good practices you can do. And also, I think box breathing, if you're ever feeling slightly stressed, which I'm sure you would have heard of, it's kind of the four in breaths and then holding for four and then out for four and in for four and holding. That really kind of calms your nervous system. So I would definitely suggest that if you're ever feeling quite highly strung and you're just trying to like gather yourself and re-energize, as you say. And then things like having small sips of hot water throughout the day or ginger and lemon tea just keeps a healthy digestion rather than lots of cold water, which makes you go to the loo all the time and it actually doesn't absorb as well into your body because it makes your sort of like cells constrict and then it just goes through you. Whereas if it's warm or room temperature, it absorbs a lot better. And also, if you think of like a sink, for example, and something getting blocked, you wouldn't pour cold water down it. You pour hot water down it to help melt whatever the gunk is
excellent.
in.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the same with our bodies. But that's like also why in hot countries they have like mint tea and hot water or room temperature water. Like you often notice a lot of like people from like Arab countries, they'll specifically request like room temperature water rather than cold water. And I used to think that was really weird. I was like, don't you want to feel refreshed? But no, I get it now. It makes sense. But yeah, those are kind of little tips and tricks. And I suppose just trying to like cut down like having too much sugar. I mean, just like especially like in the mornings or the evenings. I think it's okay to have something sweet after lunch and things, but I think there seems to be a huge kind of dependency on like fizzy drinks and all of this like rubbish that we put into our bodies. I don't know, there's a girl at work who has like Red Bulls in the morning, and I'm just kind of like wincing, thinking, God, your poor body, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Her cells must be having an attack, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean like the massage is fine. Like you can manage to spread out your energy throughout the day. You just kind of need to learn how to like hold yourself in particular positions and I guess not take on people's energies too much if you
Okay.
feel like they've got like a lot of negativity with them that day or stress. I think at the beginning of my career, I thought I took on way too much of other people's energy, and I think I cared almost too much, which sounds bad. It's not like I don't care, like I do care. It's just sometimes it completely takes everything out of you, and
Exactly.
then you just don't really last the day. You do burn out too quickly. So,
So that's
yeah.
where mindfulness kicks in, kind of speaking to yourself, being conscious with oneself, and deciding what your next steps are in managing that situation, isn't it? Because the last
Yeah.
thing you want is to get overwhelmed and then you've kind of broken your Ayurvedic habits, and
Yeah.
then you may start to feel like, oh, bad about it, or feel as though you're not doing as well as you should anymore, and
Exactly.
it can have a negative effect on you. So it's always important to try these habits, I'd say, in small increments. So maybe
Yeah.
start with 5 minutes a day of sipping a tea during your break and being mindful of it. Start off with that.
Excellent.
There we go.
Just stepping away here.
What tea are you drinking anyway?
Well, I've already had quite a few herbal teas, but no, this is just a regular tea. It's I don't know, it's called Thompson's. I think it's meant to be like a better version of Yorkshire tea.
Okay.
I don't know because it's from Sri Lanka and apparently it's cleaner. I don't know.
Okay. So it's dinner in Sri Lanka then.
I know. I should really be telling you that I'm having a pocket tea with like Tulsi in it, but I just needed a bit of energy. I did have mint tea and fennel tea this morning.
Okay.
I like having kind of fennel and fenugreek tea because it's just really helpful for any kind of like bloating and gas and things. And I think sometimes, I don't know, I just feel like quite bloated. So it's yeah, it's good for that and it's just very cleansing.
Good. And that's
Yeah.
what you want to do, I think, during the day. Make sure that we are staying cleansed. We want to
Yeah.
make, because if you're not, then it has an effect on your mood. It can have effect on your work as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. It
And
does.
obviously, with beauty therapists, we're trying to achieve so much in our day, making sure each treatment is done to an exceptional level and it's consistent. And if you don't make sure that you're boosted in terms of diet and other things, then it can have an effect on you in your workplace.
Oh, 100%. I know that we've all been there because I know for a fact that when I started in my early 20s, I was going out a lot more than I was now. I don't ever really go out now, but I think, as soon as you're kind of like super social, like it's like really easy for your life to go really out of balance. Where when is you just agree to do less or like, I don't know, you don't really drink anymore, which I don't really um, just everything becomes so much easier.
When
It's
you let go.
well, as in like when you're gonna sort of like going out less and drinking less and sort of like eating less bad food because I mean I'm sure I was eating just like way too many like crisps and like massive bowls of pasta when I got home. But like that was obviously when I was much younger, but now I was just saying I don't really drink as much and I don't really like socialize as much. Not that that's a bad thing. Like I love socializing and there's so many different ways that you can do that. Like I've just taken up cold water swimming and there's lots of regulars who go and that's like such an amazing thing to do because it's part of like fitness and wellness and it brings me just so much joy being out in the wilderness. But yeah, no, I think as soon as you kind of are putting in too many toxins or you're not right having your regular sleep, there's just everything feels out of whack and you just feel a bit out of control of your day and you don't give your 100% performance at work and then it's just like this vicious cycle.
It can
Uh,
be a vicious cycle. I've witnessed it in many places I've worked. And I think we need to take responsibility for us
mm,
and try
yeah.
these small habits. You mentioned one key one, which was being outdoors. So during the break, they can go for a brisk walk. While they're on that walk, is it a thing where they're not listening to something or they're listening to a guided meditation? What would you suggest?
I mean, look, let's be real. No one's going to be listening to a guided meditation. Well, maybe they will on their lunch break, but I think if they are able to do that, I just know a lot of people. I mean, from personal experience, I'm often like catching up with like, I don't know, mum's texted me about something. I've been in treatments all day, haven't been able to touch my phone. I need to get back to a bunch of people before my next client. Um, so hopefully 5 of those minutes can just be you, yourself, and I walking outdoors, kind of appreciating nature wherever it might be, even if it's in the streets of London. Uh, Joe and the Juice, we.
Yeah, Joe, the juice to see the TFL buses.
Oh, no, there's another bus. Woohoo. Um, but I think, yeah, like obviously, if you have enough time to do a guided meditation, then that's a wonderful thing to do. Or listening to your favorite song, or really whatever sparks joy or brings you that energy that you're going to need for the rest of the afternoon. So, I think those are all little things. I do love listening to an audible and a lot of music. Oh my gosh.
Audible, great, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you like to do on your lunch break?
Me personally, I like to stay hydrated. So I'm really into kombucha at the moment. Anything
Okay.
ginger, rooted, I really enjoy that. It just
No.
gives me energy. It also helps the gut, what we
Yeah,
were mentioning earlier. And I like having something nutritious. So whether that's a hot meal, cold meal, not a large serving, but enough to hold me
yeah,
for a
yeah,
few hours. And I do like going outside. I feel like when you can see light, obviously,
yeah,
light gives you energy, whether
yeah,
that's LED, what people are
yeah,
obsessed about at the moment, or
yeah,
it's natural light or other forms of light. Light is really important. And I really do encourage beauty therapists to not stay inside. Like I witness it a lot. People will just stay indoors on their break, and I just think you should really just pop out, even if it's just for a few minutes.
yeah, I did. I
It
think I
can
was
reset your whole.
I was always on my own. I was like, okay, all these guys are just gonna stay and like watch their phones and I like take myself off for like a 15-minute walk.
It's a good
But honestly, it
idea.
feels so much better.
You
The,
do. You
the
do.
light really does give you energy and just a little bit of that fresh air is just so vital.
100%. And I want to touch on something else we spoke about when
Yeah,
it
of
comes to
course.
Ayurveda. If they are starting to practice this, do you think it can reduce the chances of them getting, bad postural disorders? Some people really struggle with their posture
Mhm.
sometimes at work, or they notice they've got backaches and maybe a bit of
Yeah.
joint pain in the hands, if you're massaging all day. Do you think
Yeah.
it can help reduce that if you take time out for yourself and practice these habits?
As in, do I think it will reduce it for the therapist?
Yeah, for the beauty therapists, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really important to put yourself first in terms of health and wellness if you're going to be able to last in the beauty industry because like it is a lot of bending over to treat your clients, you're using your hands a lot, and I think the joint pain does seem to be a thing that kicks in like in your kind of 40s and things, and I've noticed it with my old boss. She had sort of localized arthritis and um, I mean, it's fine now, but I mean, she was definitely having to reduce her hours, and that's one thing that I'm a bit scared of, which is why I want to do more talking therapy. So, I would say first of all, make sure that you're doing a healthy exercise practice for sure. Like yoga every morning, or I don't know if you're into HIIT classes, that's fine. It's not my jam. It's not really for my body type. I think some people get really bored in yoga, which is also fine. There's lots of things that you can do. But yeah, whether that's running or boxing or whatever, just make sure you get that in your week and getting your fresh air. And then taking regular breaks, going outside. It's really important, not kind of constantly looking at your phone. Just being aware of your posture and how you hold yourself during treatments, because I think, sometimes at college they don't teach you enough about the importance of how you are standing whilst you're giving facials, giving massages, and that can really, really affect you over time. But then I think further down the line, it's kind of important to think about, the hours that you're doing and trying to work on getting more flexibility in your week to do maybe 3 to 4 days of doing massage therapies and looking at introducing something that's more talking, or it's another side of the business. You could be an educator or something like that once you've gained more knowledge in the industry and had more experience under your belt. Because, as you get older, your body starts becoming less resilient. So you do need to think about these things really. And getting massages yourself if you can, even if it's just a back massage or like, getting a block of osteo sessions. Hopefully, maybe one of the places you work that does health insurance or can give you money towards that. Um, I mean, quite often it's not the case, but I try to go and get my back massaged at least once a month.
Good.
Yeah.
60 minutes or 90.
Well, no, only like 45 minutes, but I have scoliosis, which is slight curvature in my spine. So if I'm not keeping at my core strength in good shape, like with Pilates or yoga or swimming, then my back immediately starts to give and I'm in a lot of pain. And I think, yeah, luckily my mum helped when I was younger get like osteo sessions and things like that, which was really good. But yeah, I mean, obviously exercise, really good regular sleep as well, because otherwise you're not giving your body time to repair and heal. And weirdly, which people don't think of, is not eating late.
Ooh, and less screen time.
Yeah,
Your mind's not overrunning,
yeah,
on thoughts
yeah,
and things and social media. But
yeah.
yeah, but
Trying
eat
to go
it.
to bed by 10 o'clock and also try not to eat sort of after 5 or 6 is probably like the best thing that you can do for yourself. I mean, like, sleep is so healing and important. Like, I really emphasize on getting your 8 hours. It's no joke how much of a difference it makes. It's a huge difference, and it's such an easy thing to get right. And there is such a thing as sleep hygiene. People kind of scoff at it, but no, you definitely want to be making sure that you've got a good bedtime ritual down, because your body and mind will thank you the next day.
It will, definitely. And I really appreciate sleep. I wish they gave us naps at work, but unfortunately
Yeah,
they don't. They give us, in some companies I've worked for, they're actually giving us stretch breaks now, which is separate from the lunch break.
that's
I
good.
kind of think should be a legal thing implemented, like it should be mandatory
I
in
I
therapy.
completely am on board with that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unpaid if it has to be, half of it unpaid, half of it paid, but I feel like it's necessary just so that staff do stay longer
Yeah,
working
yeah.
for them. Otherwise, you're going to get those turnovers of people coming and going because they're not getting that support at their workplace.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a massive
Yeah.
thing. You have to look after your staff because it's just like you're giving so much of yourself over to people. And there's only so much that one can do. You don't want to have burnout staff because your client's going to feel it. and it's just going to reflect really badly on your company. So I think, yeah, that's a kind of like number one rule for sure. It should be implemented.
Take those stretch breaks whenever you
Take
can.
those scratch breaks. Yeah.
Even between your clients turning around a room or something, just take a moment to do a couple of stretches and then go straight in with the next one. Well, I want
Yeah.
to thank you, Tilda, for coming on this podcast
Yeah,
today.
of course.
It's
Thank you so much for
very-
having me.
You are phenomenal. You are on a journey right now, moving on to talking therapies, right?
Well, it's diet and lifestyle consulting, but I mean, beyond that, we'll see. Maybe I'll look into trauma therapy and things as well. So,
Incredible.
yeah.
Wow, you're on a real big mission, aren't you? Well, I wish you all the best on that, and we will be staying in touch, I'm sure. But can you just let me know where the viewers can find you apart from in cold swimming pools? Can they find you anywhere else?
Yeah, so I recently set up my website, tulatime.com, and my Instagram is Ayurveda with Tilda. So for you, those of you who don't know how to spell Ayurveda, I'm sure Nicole will put it in the description, but it's Ayurveda with Tilda, and that's pretty much all my socials. I wouldn't bother looking on my Facebook. I don't really use that a lot, but no, I'd love to see some of you there and obviously get in touch if you have any questions.
Oh, thank you very much. And I hope that you've all noted
Nicole.
that, and it will be in the description box below for you to check that out and connect with Tilda. If you have any questions whatsoever, you just want to touch base with her, even maybe try and arrange, some sort of treatment because Tilda has
Yeah.
so much knowledge, so much experience. Please do reach out to her. Before we end this podcast, I just want to share a little summary of what we've covered. So, Ayurveda, let me say it
It's
correctly.
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda
Yeah,
is rooted in India. It's, you know,
5,000-year-old.
5,000-year-old tradition.
Yeah.
There are hospitals that have been set up over on that side of the world, and it's kind of stemmed over to London and other parts of the world, and people are becoming more and more um, uh, yeah,
Aware
they're
of it.
familiar with it, aren't they? So
Yeah, for sure.
there are practices that you can start doing today or start from tomorrow. It's never too late to start something.
No,
Whatever goal you have in mind, you can just do small things to work towards that and set yourself up for success. If you want to be in this industry for long, it's so important to take charge of your life, your body, your soul, and your mind. Tilda,
100%.
is there anything you want to add on to that? In
Yeah, I just say like, yeah, keep good routine and be true to yourself. I think stay strong and then you'll be able to give your best to others. And that's really kind of what it's about in essence. There's like so much you can look into about Ayurveda if you are interested. But it really like helped change my life. And I think for someone, I mean, I have ADHD and epilepsy, and I think it's been one of the most kind of grounding careers that I could have gone with. And in a way, I kind of think it saved me in a lot of senses. So I'm really grateful that I found this vocation, and I hope that I can help some of you as well.
Thank you so much, Tilda.
Thank you, Nicole. Have a wonderful day. Speak to you soon.